Cole, along with Senior Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord, who has a beautiful forecast to tell us about.
Yeah. I mean, kind of bored with the forecast.
Are you? We're not.
That usually means good weather for you, so that's the way it works out. We got a lot of good numbers today. We're starting off right around 50 degrees, a lot of great sunshine out there to enjoy as we start off. Now, just remember, with the hour time shift, the warmest part of the day this time of year is going to be about 5 o'clock now. It was about 4 o'clock earlier, 3:30, 4 o'clock, and now we're getting closer to 5. Daylight hours getting longer, and we did the shift here. So remember that when you get off work. Plenty of sunshine and some warmth today. Temperatures drop off and some windy days on the way for the middle of the week. And then by the weekend, more clouds and cooler air. So this will probably end up being the warmest day we have this week. A lot to look forward to, though, longer range. I don't think it's going to, we don't have any big cold snaps on the way. But with high clouds to the north, abundant sunshine, we're going to take numbers that are right around 50 and warm them up quickly. Once the sun rises, we will warm quickly today. So a lot of 40s outside of the metro as well. But you can see right around 50 right in the middle of the map as we start off the day. A little bit of a south wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Not a huge issue there. But that may pick up a little bit this morning. So indications we could get some mid-morning gusts up near 15, maybe 20 miles per hour, and then they'll back off some into the afternoon. So first alert forecast takes numbers right around 50 here at 7 o'clock. By 9, we'll warm them a little bit, and then by noon, we'll warm them a lot. How about 64 degrees by lunch, and into the afternoon, 60s become 70s. By 3 o'clock, we're looking at about 71. And then a high today up to 75. Notice, though, you're near 70 on the north side of the map. You make a run at 80 on the south side of the map. It is going to be another very, very enjoyable day with just some high clouds floating through every now and then. By 10 o'clock, we're falling down into the 50s. And then overnight tonight, heading towards early tomorrow morning, you can see numbers fall off down near 40 degrees to start off tomorrow. So about 10 degrees cooler tomorrow morning. And that means probably 10 degrees cooler in the afternoon as well. 75 today, 66 on Tuesday, and then 50 on Wednesday. Small chance of a little, we'll call it a wintry mix, a melting mix to start off Wednesday. Right now, doesn't look like all that much to worry about. So next one to watch for Wednesday morning, but I don't see it causing any problems.
Okay, getting an update. Getting an update as far as what we're looking ahead to Wednesday and Thursday. More wind, rainy days on the way?
Yeah, it looks like the wind will probably end up being the bigger story. Wednesday and into Thursday. Let's talk about some of those gusts. You can see we start off Wednesday near 20 with the gusts, 20 to 25 in the morning. So blustery north wind by noon, 1 o'clock, we're gusting 30 to 35. And then into the afternoon, we're talking still 30 to 35. So a blustery north wind on Wednesday, the reason why we fall to 50 for the high. And then at flips, notice Thursday, there's your southwest wind. That's going to be a little more annoying and gusts near 40 miles per hour. And likely dry things out a little bit. Could have some fire danger issues by Thursday to keep an eye out on, but that'll surge our temperatures up again back near 70 the way it looks. Thursday evening, the wind relaxes a little bit, but still noteworthy enough. Into the evening, you'll probably still notice it. So down to 29 to start Thursday, but a quick rebound, more than double that into the afternoon. 68 there, 56 Friday, 58 on Saturday. Cooling down a little bit. Next chance of precip after Wednesday might be a little system on Sunday. It too at the moment doesn't look like it's going to do all that much, but we're right around 40 to start next week. So the start of next week will be significantly colder the way things are trending, with a lot of 40s, and that is actually below average. So I've shown those maps last week about how the middle of the country might be a little cooler. That's what that is there. Nothing atrocious, but average high is about 50 for this week.
Spring and winter, still battling it out.
A little bit. Spring's winning though.
For sure. All right, let's get a check of traffic. So far, so good.
Yeah, not too much going on right now. So we just seen the normal volume pressure in a lot of the spots as we see traffic starting to pick up. You'll notice here, this is Highway 370 for the eastbound drivers coming in from Gretna. You'll see a steady stream of traffic. If you drive this, you know it is heavy traffic, everybody trying to get to the interstate and make their way in. We've had some random slowdowns each direction on 370 right around Interstate 80. Otherwise, usual spot 72nd and L as they keep working on the bridge demolition there. Northbound JFK really hasn't slowed down. Maple, Dodge, Center looking good. 204th, not bad right now. You go a little west of 204th, 207th to 213. On F Street, roads closed for construction until summer. That's all we were given on that one. So also some new closures downtown on Harney Street around the courthouse. Be mindful of that. If you got to head that direction, they're doing some water main work, all related to the streetcar. But keep that in mind. A lot of the interstates and the faster moving roads have no problems as of right now. If you're coming in from Blair on Blair High Road, it too looks pretty quiet right now. So we'll see how it goes. Usually the next hour is when it starts to pick up a little bit. And we'll see if that's the case yet again today.
All right, sounds good, Rusty. Thank you. Well, U.S. Central Command says a 7th American service member has died from injuries suffered during the early wave of Operation Epic Fury. They were critically hurt in Saudi Arabia earlier this month. While around that same time, 6 other Americans were killed by an Iranian drone attack in Kuwait. Victims include Sergeant First Class Noah Tejans of Bellevue, Major Jeffrey O'Brien of Waukee, Iowa, and Sergeant Declan Cody of West Des Moines. Their bodies were returned to the U.S. in a dignified transfer over the weekend. Meanwhile, Iran has named its next supreme leader. Iranian state television says Mojtaba Khamenei, the son of Iran's late supreme leader, will be his successor.
He will be the 3rd Irani leader since the Islamic Revolution in 1979. He has never held a government spot before.
He's not picked by Iranian people, so we don't accept him. We don't want him. Yeah, and I don't think the United States want him either. So we hoping someone else comes along.
We also spoke with a woman who has lived in the U.S. for about as long as she lived in Iran, and she tells us she has seen the oppression of Iran citizens firsthand.
People of Iran are living in very, very sad situation. People are digging into trash can to find food. People may not be happy for what's happening in the United States. They call it a war, but we call it a rescue mission.
President Trump says Iran's new leader, in quote, is not going to last long, end quote. Over the weekend, the Israeli Defense Forces warned any successor would be considered a target.
Aaron, thank you. A driver died in a weekend crash on the interstate. This happened on I-680 at 70th Street. So here is how the scene looked from a Nebraska DOT camera in the area. Crash investigators say an SUV was headed east when it drifted left, overcorrected, then rolled. The driver, a 46-year-old man, was ejected. Medics pronounced him dead at the scene. Here at the safety desk with our Maria Kate. And Maria, getting enough sleep we all know is important, but it's especially important for young folks.
Yes, everybody needs to get their sleep, right? But unfortunately, there is a new survey that's out that's suggesting nearly half of American children are not getting that amount that they need. So this poll surveyed nearly 1,000 caregivers of kids 13 and under, and the researchers found that 44% of kids don't consistently get that recommended amount of sleep for their age. So of course, sleep in the early childhood plays a key role for both your physical and your mental health. It also helps to shape sleep habits for you later on in life. The National Sleep Foundation recommends anywhere from 9 to 17 hours a day, depending on how old you are as a kid. Doctors say simple steps can help, including consistent bedtimes, really calm bedtime routines, and we said it before, turning off those electronics before you go to bed. The poll also found, though, that poor sleep really doesn't just affect the kids. Nearly 80% of the caregivers in the survey actually said that their own sleep suffers too when their kids aren't sleeping.
That makes sense, doesn't it? When they don't sleep, you don't sleep. Yeah, it's a terrible ripple effect. All right, Maria Kate at the safety desk with the good information again this morning. Maria, thank you. We'll back after this.
All right, time now 7:14 early on this Monday morning. Taking a live look outside, overlooking the Midtown Crossing and the downtown area. The sun starting to come up. Remember, it's still technically 6:14 if you haven't adjusted yet. I don't know if you do that, but I do that a couple times. Like the days after we either spring forward or fall back. I'm like, well, don't beat yourself up too much if you're not adjusting.
I did that around bedtime yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so then my body thinks it's this time. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So
takes a little bit to adjust.
And on that note, we actually, the warmest part of the day now is around 5 o'clock this time of year. So we're starting off on a mild note, and we're going to end on a mild note today. So very, very nice. I would take the jacket with you for the first couple hours, as we do have 40s and a beautiful sunrise out there. Forecast high for today gets you up into the 70s. And again, remember, this is going to be closer to 5, if not a little bit after. So we got some nice weather to enjoy by the end of the day and you get home from work. So near 70 north, near 80 south, we're smack dab in the middle of that to start for much of the area otherwise. A little bit of a south breeze. It's not doing much today, but it's going to drag us up to 75 by 5 o'clock. And then notice tonight, we will fall a little bit more, down in the 40s to start off the day. Tomorrow, 3-day forecast shows 66 degrees for the high on Tuesday. Pretty good there. Wednesday has a little rain snow mix trying to move in. Now, let me show you what this looks like here. You can see this batch of snow to the north. You may be thinking, oh boy, here we go for Wednesday morning. Well, it struggles to really hang on. It's going to be more of a thing that hangs on closer to I-90 up to our north, and we might get a little mixed precipitation just skirting right now areas north of I-80. Not a big deal. That's why I kept the chances low, but it is the next system to watch that could bring a little precipitation. So first alert to that. And even if we get any snow or sleet or something like that, it'll melt off quickly because we're still going to climb to 50 degrees the way it appears. But probably the bigger story will be those winds that we deal with on Wednesday and into Thursday. So I want to reiterate that here. There's your north winds gusting near 30 to 35 miles per hour in the afternoon on Wednesday. Still holding on into the evening. They'll relax a little bit overnight, switch directions. Then it's a southwest wind on Thursday that gets up near 40, maybe 45 at times, and still into the evening hanging on here with gusts near 25 to 35 for a blustery Thursday night leading into Friday. 66 for the high Tuesday, 50 on Wednesday, like I mentioned, 68 Thursday, and 56 on Friday. So that the north wind on Wednesday cools us down. Southwest wind on Thursday warms us up and does so in a big way, right back up near 70 degrees.
Those are some nice temperatures, Rusty. So technically, it is still winter.
Yeah.
Any signs of winter in your forecast there?
I mean, we try to cool down a little bit by the early part of next week.
Okay.
We'll see if this Sunday system can turn into anything. It too brings some snow to our north like the Wednesday one does. So that's the next one to watch to see if that can drag in a little snow from the north. But overall, it'll be significantly colder to start off next week, but nothing atrocious. You look even beyond that, the cold air is to the northeast. You're going to watch probably the Today Show or something later on today. They'll still be bundled up deep into March as the warmer air to the southwest is winning out, and drier than average precipitation likely to win out too. So not what you want to see after we started off March with a good amount of shower and thunderstorm activity. I fear we may dry it out a little bit beyond that.
Okay, Rusty, thank you very much. Back to more news now. An update. First alert to a man is dead after his car slammed into the corner of a building. Officers rushing to St. Pius X Church St. Leo School near 69th and Blondo this past weekend. Now, police tell us a 68-year-old man drove off the road, hitting a pillar. He died at the hospital. We do not yet know his name. OPD says the crash is under investigation.
A first alert to new street closures in downtown Omaha.
Yeah, starting today, Harney will be closed between 17th and 19th, along with parts of 17th and 18th behind the Douglas County Courthouse. The closure is for streetcar water main work. It should last about 3 weeks. Drivers are asked to use the Douglas County Street in order to avoid this area.
Well, speaking of the streetcar, Mayor John Ewing is responding to the demands of businesses that operate along the streetcar route. He says the city will discuss possible financial aid and a second weekly in-person office hours event along the route, and look at more free or low-cost parking options around the construction areas. I'll still have this morning. It's a look-alike showdown in the search for a JFK Jr. double.
Yeah, see the man that won it all when we come back.
Alert 6 Weather Day, days.
Well, for most kids, playing on a team is something they might take for granted.
Yeah, but for one wheelchair basketball team, the opportunity to take the court means everything. So the Nebraska Red Dogs are open to any player younger than 21 with a permanent lower extremity disability. They hosted the Dog Pound Showdown over the weekend. The tournament drew 7 teams from Nebraska, Missouri, Wisconsin, even as far away as California. The head coach played for the Red Dogs as a kid in the late 90s. On New This Morning, a bar in Washington, D.C. hosted a competition to find the man who most resembled the late John F. Kennedy Jr.
Yeah, event organizers say a new TV series inspired this idea. Have you guys heard about this TV series?
Yes.
It's really popular. Lots of, let's say, younger Gen Zs taking a lot of inspo from the show. So the Hulu series, Love Story, chronicles JFK Jr.'s life and his relationships, including his marriage to the late Caroline Bessette. Different men took their turns on the stage to see if they resembled Kennedy the most. Cerise was there. She knows. The crowd decided Matthew Orgara was the winner. He says this is not the first time people have compared his looks to Kennedy.
I don't think so.
Do you know which one he is?
I don't see
I
any.
don't think it's that one.
Oh, you don't
the
think
one
it's that
before
one?
This guy, he kind of, yeah,
Okay.
he kind of resembled him a
I
little
didn't
bit.
see
What's the
any, but
dog
I'm like,
doing
ooh,
there?
that's it. That's the one. He's the one.
So is this the young like how young we talking here in the show?
It was slightly before he
Yeah,
passed.
yes, if it's that guy, I can see it a little bit.
He's probably
but
maybe the
yeah,
closest,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
I need another one.
But I mean, his outfit and JFK Jr.'s fashion and Carolyn Bessette's fashion, I mean, like you said, Erin, it's
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
like making a comeback, having a resurgence, especially with the younger generation. So a lot of young men are starting to dress like that again with like the backwards newsboy
late
caps. And
I think a lot of, too, like younger Gen Z who weren't alive when they passed away and who don't know anything
they
about
didn't even know
JFK
them.
Jr. or Carolyn
It's a fascinating
Bessette,
story.
take it up. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kennedys are fascinating, period. But
They are.
yeah, all right.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Are you guys doing okay with the time change?
I think
No. If you're not, it's okay. Give yourself some grace.
I was off yesterday. I remember looking at the clock a lot going, what? It's that already?
Yeah.
you know, and I worked yesterday and I struggled.
That was hard,
I
especially
struggled.
that early shift. All right. We're going to make it, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. We're going to get ready for our update in the Today Show. Of course, you can watch it here on streaming or over the air.
Have a great start to your Monday.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
Well, good Monday morning, everybody. It is 7:26. I'm Cerise Cole.
And I'm Erin Hartley. Let's get an update on the roads and weather today with the Senior Chief, Rusty Lord.
Yeah, so far so good on the road. So made it this far. This is eastbound, or excuse me, this is westbound Highway 370 leading towards the interstate, where we've had just slow traffic as everybody's trying to get to the interstate. And I believe that's the little yellow you see right here heading towards I-80. That's a little slow area. You got slow on L Street west of I-80, normal slowdowns along 72nd and L where they're doing the bridge demolition. Maple, Dodge, West Center Road. One thing I noticed yesterday was sun glare. Keep that in mind if you're heading east now that we've shifted the time a little bit. Also, our street closure, F Street from 207th to 213, it got closed until summer, so keep that in mind. But overall, watch sun glare eastbound. Could be a little sneaky today. Now, let's look at the forecast. Speaking of that sun, and we're going to warm it up today. Mid-70s for the afternoon high. Current temperatures in the 40s and 50s right now. So we've cooled off a little bit in some spots, upper 40s to right around 50. And then from this point, we're going to warm up a lot today. You can see looking out across the city, it's a great one. Right around 50 gets us 75. We'll tack on about 25 degrees today and enjoy a wonderful afternoon. If you didn't get to yesterday, you can by the time you get home today. A little bit of a breeze this morning, should back off some into the afternoon. 10-day forecast goes 66 on Tuesday. Small chance of a little precipitation early Wednesday, and then the wind picks up Wednesday and Thursday. Could have a little more precip by the weekend, but overall, not too bad. Coldest weather about a week from now. Erin?
Well, first alert to new street closures in downtown Omaha. Starting today, Harney will be closed between 17th and 19th, along with parts of 17th and 18th behind the Douglas County Courthouse. It's for streetcar water main work and should last about 3 weeks. Drivers are asked to use Douglas Street.
All right, it is 7:28. We're back with another update for you in about 25 minutes. We'll see you then.